Okay, you want a little support?
This will be alright.
We'll put it. Okay.
Alright, we'll just start out with your name.
Okay, my name is Giuseppe Quercia.
I can pronounce it.
Okay, Giuseppe Quercia, Quercia. And we're the proprietor of Freddy's Pizza.
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
So you grew up around here, or?
Actually, I grew up in Naples, Italy, until I was 13.
Really?
Then we emigrated in 1968.
Alright. Were your parents here before you, or
No,
were you
we
the
all
first
came.
generation?
I'm a first generation. We came here in 1968, March 4th, and it's about 51 years.
So how was that transition?
Well, it wasn't easy, just especially when you don't know any English, it's very hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to school, and it's a little tough.
So is that your second language, English?
Yeah, and
First language?
first language was Italian, second language I had to learn. It was a little tough. But it took us a good 6 months, just to get your bearings together. A good year, I spoke pretty well. Went to St. Francis of Rome, and then I went to Morton's High School.
So
It was a little tough, try to make new friends. You're 13, 14 years old, and it's not easy.
moving here.
The culture is different, sports are different. And in Italy, we play soccer. Here at that time, soccer was not available.
Yeah.
It was football, hockey, things that you didn't play.
So what was your sport of choice, or did you not participate in sports?
Here, no, I didn't participate in any sports.
So how was the community you grew up in? Like jobs and activities?
Well, the
field?
jobs that I found the job right away, which was Freddy's, the place that I own here, and I just walked into the place, and I was like a little lost for directions. So I asked for directions to the owner, and then give me the direction. I asked for a job, and he gave me a job. I was working, going to grammar school, and work, in the evening, or just work like Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays.
School during the week, work at?
Yeah, I worked. I worked almost full time.
Yeah.
So at that time, when you're in need of money, and you need to buy stuff, and your parents are having a little tough time, So you want to get you want to buy a pair of jeans, or you want a pair of nice shirts, some shoes. So I had to work for my money. You just can't go and say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I need some money." It was a little different. It was a little tough.
So as far as the community, was it pretty close?
Well, the community was a mixture community here in Cicero. At that time, was a lot of people from Czech Republic. Well, at that time was Czechoslovakia. Czech and Slovak were here. Greeks, Italians. It was a mixture. And Bohemians.
Yeah, so I
Cicero.
know, from my readings that I've done, that the Italian communities were usually pretty close knit.
Yeah, well, the Italian community was more on the east side. They call them Grant Works. They were around 14th Street and Roosevelt, Central Avenue, Cicero Avenue. There was a lot of Italian people there. But west of that, there was more Czech and Slovenian and Slovak, there were a few Greeks, and there were a few Italians. And then with time, talking about, a matter of 6-7 years, more Italians started moving towards here. At one time it was predominantly Italians. And then the cycle now changes to Hispanic. We have about 80% Hispanic here in Cicero. That's how it is. That's the way it gets. So I've seen things change so many ways and so many times. At one time, like I said, you couldn't get nobody to speak Italian right here.
Yeah.
Especially when I went to school, there was nobody that could help you translate, you know, and help you out.
Yeah, it would be hard. Did you come over here with like friends or family or just by
No, just the
yourself?
family. Just the family. Yeah, we were 4 of us: my mom, my dad, my brother, and we came here, the promised land.
Promised land. Yeah.
It is the promised land. You know, this country can give you so much as long as you're willing to work honest. You know,
So
a lot of elbow grease.
it was like a memory, you know, like you remember the most from moving from Italy to here.
Well,
Like maybe a big difference or something.
well, there was a big difference. You know, just that. You know, you have friends in Italy. You played soccer. You had your favorite teams. You watched soccer on TV. Here you come and it was everybody was working here, and relatives were tied up with others. And, the biggest thing was, you know, at least was a promise here that you could do better in your life through a simple job or through school. So, and I had the fortune of meeting some older person, like, you know, the guy I work for, and he was very, very nice to me. And also I met a couple other people, like an accountant, they were Italian American, and he helped me out a lot. You know, he always emphasized to invest and do things honest. Cheating, you know, doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. So did you go to college or
No, I
just
did
high
not.
school?
I just went to high school.
And then you were working here.
Yeah, I was
since-
working here, and the place was up for sale. And then it was in 1973. I gathered some money from my parents, and I borrowed some money from my godfather. He had, and we ended up buying this place.
Yeah, I'm excited to try the pizza. It's been around, yeah. So, as far as like, obviously it's a big difference from here in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like culture shocks, but
Oh yeah, you do get a culture shock
But,
because you know.
what would you say like one of the main differences besides like the normal culture differences and stuff? Like, what would you say like you missed something or?
Well, for a while, you know, my parents were here, but I miss my grandparents. You know, miss your grandparents, you miss your friends, and you miss the, you know, your Sunday, the whole family got together and have a big feast, which you hear. You know, my mother used to work on Sundays, my dad used to do side jobs on Sundays, and when it was, as the family started, you know, not getting together, like, that's what you missed, you know, after your meal, you watch a soccer game on TV, and you took a stroll, a walk someplace, or you got friends, and all of a sudden, you know, it was like a shock. Here you are, you leave within about 11 hours, you're in a different country.
Yeah, I can imagine how. Don't imagine the culture shock that it was.
Well, we have, we were fortunate to come here and to see how this country was made, and you learn a lot, and you accept a lot, you absorb, and it's a great experience. I would advise to anybody from another country not to stay, just, you know, here you are, you have a multiple religion, multiple culture. You see different foods, different people, a mixture of Afro-American, Chinese. The only time I seen that when I was in Italy was a kid. I only seen them on TV or in a newspaper. Otherwise, you know, here was was a culture shock, but also was an experience, a great experience.
So, how would you say from the time you moved here to now, how things have changed or haven't changed?
Well, things have changed. Things have changed. I think people were honest, more friendly. The progress that we made, we lost it into that self-respect, like a handshake. Like, for instance, give you an idea. When I needed the money, I needed $2,000 from my godfather. He lent me the $2,000 without any writing a paper, without signing anything, with a handshake that I would return to him within a year.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think today exists. That nobody will do that. Give you money with no paper, and so things has changed. Things has changed a lot for the better, improving. But some you lose.
So, would you send money back to Italy, like to your family, or
No.
did they ever make their way over here?
No, not really. What we did, sometimes I used to send some money to my grandfather. Just maybe for the holidays or something. Not a lot of money, just himself to buy a present.
Yeah. So they never really had any interest in coming over here. Or?
No. Some they really didn't want to, because after in the 70s, 80s, things were getting better for Italy, and a lot of people remained there. The economy started getting better and better, which was good to see. The decline of the Italians, the immigrants. I think stopped, not barely stopped, but it slowed down in the 80s. Things got better. When we came in 68, there was a little, Italy was still, the economy wasn't the greatest, But we were always, in our mind, and my dad's mind, always wanted to come in this country because of his parents lived here, and then they moved back to Italy. So my father happened to be born in Italy, but some of his brothers and sisters were born in Minnesota. Yeah. So that's what it was. The Italian people came here, they made some money, and it was rough times. Some people, it wasn't maybe a form of slavery, but it was, believe me. You work for not a good salary, underpaid. So, but for them it was a lot. So they made their money, went early, they build a house or they buy a farm or whatever. But so it ends up to be some people, some brothers and sisters, and my dad were born in the United States. Only two were born in Italy. My father and one of my aunts. Yeah. So then if you're an American citizen at that time, you could have come anytime you want in this country after you're 18.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of all my dad's sisters and brothers, they all came back. As soon as they turned 18, because it was during the war, after the war, before the war, they all came here. So my dad served the Italian army. And some of his brothers that they came before, because my dad was the youngest, they were serving in the United States Army. So
yeah, that's gotta be that's quite a story. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I just that happens. That soon you get older and you see Italy was before the war. There wasn't still, especially in the South.
Yeah.
Most of the immigrants came from the South. They came here, and like I said, they made some money that enough to go back and buy a piece of property.
You didn't want to go back?
Me, myself, now for vacation. I've been here for so many years now. I mean, I'd love to go there for vacation. Maybe I would stay there a month.
Yeah.
And I won't stay longer than that.
So how would you characterize your upbringing? Like as far as family and maybe like how close your family was, if you guys, like what kind of work you guys were doing?
Well, like we were close with the family. But like I said, as further you go, you start losing it.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't like for my wife and I to get the family together sometimes, even if it's a holiday or just, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own things to do. Who's got kids that have to have sports. The other guys are involved into a job. But the other guy's gotta go see a hockey game. The other guy's go see a football game.
Yeah.
So thank God that with the holidays we get together.
Yeah.
Like Mother's Day, Christmas, and New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and sometimes if it's somebody's birthday, we get together.
Yeah, I know you said that your mother would work Sundays.
Yeah.
What kind of work did your?
When she worked in a kitchen in what's called Ferrara Manor, that was right on Central and North Avenue in Chicago, and she used to work in a kitchen. It was a banquet hall. So mostly banquet hall was done, all the weddings and parties was done on weekends. So my father, to have a side job, to help the family, my dad was a bricklayer. So like he was off on Saturday and Sunday, he used to go and wash dishes at Ferrara Manor on Saturday and Sunday. So in order to achieve something in life, there's a little sacrifice that you have to do. The same we did. I mean, when I purchased the store, I worked from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. I did it for 12 years straight.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, because you want to achieve something, things that you want to have and you want to be. Because I seen the light at the end of the tunnel, that the business was getting better, so you want to build your business. And so after that, I finally took a vacation. I took a month of vacation, and it was a great thing. I went back to Italy, and you see a big change. After 12 years, I seen a big change there too. I had the pleasure of seeing my grandparents alive, and that was a great thing. It was a beautiful thing that I seen them, and I learned a lot of stuff that I brought the ideas back. And we started with gelato. We started other things, the format that we have now. But here it's when you can make it. This is a great country. You can make it good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting. How would you say your school experience was? I know you said they didn't have like translators or anything.
No, that wasn't that now.
But other than that, I was like learning to adjust to the school system here in America.
There's bullies everywhere.
Yeah.
So there were some bullies there because they picked on me and they thought it was funny, and they stopped making comments about bagel and using other words, or sometimes they used to say, hey, pizza, pasta fazool. They meant to say, but it wasn't nice. And then we had the teacher, I had a nun actually. she used to send me to the board, and my English wasn't well at all. You know. And sometimes you mispronounce something, and just make fun of you. So, well, you overcome that. You know, you're strong. You believe positive, and things come better. Come better within a year. Then when I went to high school was different. The worst I had them in grammar school, 7th and 8th grade. It was tough. You know, the kids, make fun of. I just say, because you mispronounce things. I still today mispronounce some stuff. But now, it doesn't matter. But that time, kids made fun and laugh at you, or just give you an idea. Instead of say knife, I say knife. So for them it was funny. It says fungus, I said fungus. So give you some, the way we write in Italian, that's how we would pronounce it. So you had the experience with the kids. I mean, I got into fights almost every day. But what can you do? It's part of life,
Yeah.
It's, because when you're one and there's 5 or 6 of them, that's bully, but that's okay. Right now, I see some of these guys, and I did better than them.
That's good, yeah.
Just like one guy says, if he give you an idea. One guy says, "Oh, nice country, America. I see you have a Mercedes, you have this, you have that, you have a business." I said, "Well, I came in this country, I was 13. You were born and raised in this country. You had a better chance than I did."
Yeah.
So it's out there. Anybody wants it, it's out there. I'll tell my nephew and nieces, "Hey, it's out there. This is the greatest country in the world. It still is.
Yeah.
You could become a rich man just by cutting grass, cutting grass or shoveling snow, or do any kind of work. Like I told you, you do honest work, or you could just painting homes or painting garages, or do anything. If you don't have a school, you could come here still and make it bigger." And I don't know why, it got lost. I remember I used to see a lot of white kids here. They used to work in restaurants. They used to work busboys.
Yeah.
Now you hardly see them. That's all you see is foreign people.
Yeah.
Because it seems like them to do that kind of work, it's demeaning. It's not acceptable into their culture.
Yeah.
It's honest work. I even shine shoes. I used to go and shine shoes at the barbershop on Saturdays. Saturday morning, I go there and shine shoes. So it wasn't that you had a set price. They just give you a tip.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, this is today that it's not only in this country, it's every country, even in Italy. You don't see kids being barista. You see foreign kids. Mostly in the restaurant.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, you see in yourself. A lot of you don't want to do that kind of job, or dishwasher.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I don't know how they got lost. Because it's not, for a young man. Instead of being on a computer all the time, acquires so much experience by working in a restaurant, working in a coffee shop,
Life experience in general.
Yeah, you go there, you meet other different type of people, and I feel that when one day you go to school, you become a lawyer, a doctor, and you and your wife go up to a restaurant having a meal, you think, what's going on in that kitchen?
Yeah.
And you appreciate the people that work much better. It's not because it's just like anything today. We just go to a grocery store and buy a chicken. And before, had to slaughter the chicken. You know, today everything is out to us to be served. You know, computers, phones are beautiful, the greatest thing. But you have to learn the basics. Learn the basics